Hey everyone, I'm David Finz, and on this episode of the Cyber Insurance Imperative, we're going to turn our focus to supply chain risk management and how advances in information technology have proven to be a double-edged sword in this area. As we learned in the wake of the outbreak of COVID-19 4 years ago, global commerce is fragile and supply chains can be easily disrupted. One of the things that got us through the pandemic was the ability to pivot to virtual forms of communication, which allowed us to avoid physical contact with others in the hope of limiting the spread of the virus. But this also created new opportunities for cyber criminals to infiltrate our systems. In the same way, using IT to manage a company's supply chain cuts both ways. It allows the firm to oversee its supply chain effectively, but it can also be used as a disruption tool by hackers. So it's important to understand how to safeguard against those risks. So now, the same technology that lets you track the whereabouts of inventory, the sensors that monitor the temperature and humidity in storage facilities, presents a new vector of attack for threat actors to exploit. Fortunately, there are ways to counter these threats. One is through the use of blockchain and smart contracts to keep an immutable ledger of transactions and to embed contract provisions right into the code. Another way is through the use of IT to simulate different threat scenarios and test an organization's business continuity plan. But I would say that one of the most crucial aspects of managing risk to your supply chain is simply protecting your data through encryption, backups, and the use of virtual private networks to safeguard the integrity of your data while it's in transit. In this respect, manufacturing is no different from other industries. The fact remains, though, that you can never completely secure your network and data assets from attack or even just a breakdown in your systems, and that's where a risk transfer solution like cyber insurance comes into play. Manufacturers have been a little slower than some other industries in taking up this coverage, and there's reason for that. After all, the headlines around data breaches in years past seem to suggest that this was the stuff for retailers and other consumer-facing sectors to worry about. But Colonial Pipeline changed all that. And remember, that wasn't even an attack on their physical plant. It was on their inventory control. And it proved to be terribly effective. Because if they couldn't track product, they couldn't ship it. And without the ability to make deliveries, their revenue took a hit. Gas stations up and down the Atlantic coast went dry, and the company felt as though they had no choice but to pay the ransom. See, a lot of folks don't realize that cyber insurance can cover the lost income and extra expense associated with a business interruption, either to your own network or that of a critical vendor or supplier that you rely upon to do business. And the underwriting process itself can serve as a gut check of sorts to help you fine-tune your security controls and cyber resiliency. Want to learn more about how to integrate cyber insurance into your incident response plan? Please don't hesitate to reach out. You can DM me on LinkedIn or email me at david.fins@alliant.com, and I'll be happy to send you a copy of my article covering this very subject. And if your current broker isn't having these conversations with you, maybe it's time that you discover the more rewarding way to manage risk. Thanks for watching.